remember the first time I met Secret Service agents. To be clear, many of them are wonderful people, and they remain to be wonderful people. But the first time I came in contact with the U.S. Secret Service, I was in awe. I was blown away. I was so impressed. And I saw how the Secret Service was operating, and Don Jr., who I was very close with, and President Trump obviously had Secret Service protection all throughout the 2016 campaign, and then we won, and I spent a lot of time with Secret Service agents. And I had such high trust of those institutions. If we go back into 2017, I used to trust largely many parts of the FBI. As we did the long march through the institutions, which of course is a left-wing phrase from Rudy Duchka, said nearly 70 years ago of how the left would capture all of our institutions. As I saw as we marched through these institutions for many years, I soon realized, one after the other, the rot that our institutions have been experiencing. We hosted President Trump on Friday, and our entire team independently came up to me and said, "Charlie, what was that?" They said, "That was the most relaxed, unimpressive security that we've ever seen." I was like, yeah, it didn't seem correct. It was porous. Agents were checking their phone. It was relaxed. It was unprofessional. It was laid back. It wasn't intense. Our security team totally agreed. They were floored. Multiple instances of some of our interns and people who work for us that had to go run and get food. And the Secret Service agents were like, yeah, just come on through. No wanding, no checking. It was not a secure event. And this is after Trump got shot in Butler, Pennsylvania. Nothing has improved. Nothing has gotten better. No heads have rolled. There has been no humiliation and no firings. And Donald Trump is not safe with this current Secret Service. So let me tell you what happened on Friday. We hosted President Trump at the Believers Summit in Palm Beach, Florida. We've done multiple events. Our events team is the best in the business, and that is an objective fact. We host more of these events. They are better run, better looking, better presentation, better operation than any other events on the conservative movement. Very thankful and impressed with our team, top to bottom. They do an amazing job. And so we've grown used to the kind of flow of the U.S. Secret Service. And the porous, lackadaisical nature of how the Secret Service took about their job to protect Donald Trump. And some of the agents were very sweet. They came up, they asked for pictures with us. They were fans. I'm not attacking the individual rank and file. They're nothing more than individuals that are just being used in a broader game. And this is not personal. This is about the protection of President Trump. But it is very clear that from the top of the U.S. Secret Service, there is an attitude that has infected the Secret Service that the protection of Donald Trump is not a top priority. Now, maybe it's a protection of all protectees, but just one example. One of our donor friends, the speech was going very long. They said, hey, can you go run and get me some food? I'm getting a little, lightheaded. So I said, hey, Danny, just leave the perimeter. Can you go get some food? They're not going to let you back into the perimeter, but once it's over, you're going to be able to get some food back in the moment that's there. He said, yes. And so Danny goes and runs and gets some food. Next thing I know, he's back in the interior. I was like, how did that happen, Danny? He's like, I just walked through. So you just walked through? He's like, yeah, they just waved me in. Now, it could be that the Secret Service was trusting of us, and Turning Point USA and Turning Point Action is worthy of that trust. However, I would not have taken the slightest offense at everybody being double and triple checked given recent events. And let's just be very clear. Even though that Turning Point might be very worthy of trust, and we're very thankful for that, I suppose, it could have just been a bad guy that put on a Turning Point shirt. Or it could have been one bad actor or one person that is a proxy. The protection of the president and the former president, soon to be next president, God willing, this is not a game. This is not child's play. And the Secret Service is responsible with protecting the president. But let's broaden this out. If President Trump gets shot again, which there is no guarantee of his safety at this point, the Secret Service is tasked right now with protecting the entire civilization. That is not an exaggeration. If Trump would have gotten killed in Butler, Pennsylvania, if Trump would have died in Butler, Pennsylvania, what would our country look like today? We would be in very, very bad shape. Somebody I know that went into the event texted me afterwards, and she said, hey, I got into the event. I had a pocket knife and I forgot that I had it and they didn't catch it. It's like, well, that happens all the time. They miss stuff all the time. The Secret Service does. They miss weapons. They miss firearms. They miss pocket knives. I can't tell you how many times attendees have emailed us and told us throughout the years, yeah, Charlie, I went to a Trump event in Georgia. I forgot I had a gun on me and the metal detector just didn't catch it and they didn't get it. Happens all the time. Weapons on the interior, perimeter not secure, snipers on roofs at Butler, Pennsylvania. And it's just the top-down attitude. Nobody gets fired. You have some of the most unimpressive people that get elevated to the top of the Secret Service. The current director of the U.S. Secret Service has denied the idea that there were limiting resources to Donald Trump. I know for a fact that is the case. I know that there were multiple requests for extra support and extra reinforcement. And the current attitude right now from the Secret Service is, Trump got shot. What are you going to do about it? We don't really care. They just kind of shrug their shoulders. That's what the director Howe is saying. He said that this was because a failure of imagination. Could you imagine in an honor-shame society that a former president gets shot and you have guys that say it's a failure of imagination? The one institution that I never thought that I would have to question is the U.S. Secret Service. From the first time I met these agents, they were so impressive. They put in very long hours. They're overworked, largely underpaid. I never thought that the U.S. Secret Service would succumb to an ideological takeover. The scariest thing with the Secret Service going bad is that the rot in D.C. is deep and that tumor is metastasizing. Sometimes conservatives think the left is just ruining public goods while reserving nice things for themselves. But when the personal security team of the president, which they obviously want to control and currently control, is getting ruined by DEI, lax standards, and laziness, when a left-wing president is putting his own life at risk, you know that they are totally consumed with this arsenic, with this poison. Now understand, the Secret Service has different physical qualifications for female agents and male agents. The old Secret Service director, the Dorito woman, who her experience was protecting Mountain Dew and Doritos, was trying to make 30% of all Secret Service agents female. Did you know that Secret Service requires weapon-carrying agents to take physical fitness tests every 3 months? That makes sense since the people protecting a president should be in top physical condition. But do you know the standards are radically different for men and women? To get an excellent score for push-ups, a 20-something male agent is expected to do at least 55 push-ups. A female agent needs to get the same score, just 40. I can do 73 push-ups-ish. I just tested it the other day. I should not be on the Secret Service, for the record. I should be nowhere near the Secret Service. For chin-ups, a male agent in his 20s needs to be able to do 11 chin-ups. A female agent only needs to do 4. I can do about 8 chin-ups, depending on how you qualify it. I should be nowhere near the Secret Service, and a female agent only needs to do 4 chin-ups? A male agent is expected to run 1.5 miles in about 10 minutes. A female agent is allowed nearly 13 minutes. That is not even an 8-minute mile. So just to recap, men have to be able to do 55 push-ups in the Secret Service. Women have to be able to do 40 push-ups in the Secret Service. Chin-ups, men have to do 11 chin-ups. Women have to do 4 chin-ups. Men have to be able to run a mile and a half in 10 minutes. A female agent is allowed 13 minutes. The Secret Service is not an agency that embraces meritocracy. And we have up on screen the Secret Service that is being cross-examined by, right now, the excellent senator from Texas, Senator Ted Cruz. We saw one of the female agents, and I'm not attacking her because she's female. I'm attacking her because we have relaxed standards, obviously, to try to diversify the Secret Service, which then compromises excellence. Donald Trump got shot, and Kobe Capatore died because of a diversity, equity, and inclusive agenda that infected the U.S. Secret Service. Acting United States Secret Service Director Ronald L. Rowe, who is now testifying in front of the Senate, said that Trump got shot and Kobe died because of a lack of imagination. It's not a lack of imagination. It's because you have allowed ideological poison to infect your institution. And we have seen institution after institution, but the one that I believe most Americans had trust in were those macho men around the president. Whether it's a president we like or a president we despise, like Obama, we want that president protected. For no other reason that the established order of a civilization cannot be thwarted or uprooted by an assassination. Many Americans would probably say, well, surely the president's security is the best of the best. Surely. It's a shocking realization to see otherwise. Right now, the U.S. Secret Service director is testifying. This man should be fired. He was involved in the higher echelon of the Secret Service that created this culture. And just so we are clear, the culture at the U.S. Secret Service, they want 1 out of 3 of all agents to not be able to have the same physical fitness standards as men. When you introduce diversity, you forsake excellence. And that is the buried lead of Trump getting shot. Diversity is not the strength of the U.S. Secret Service. Strength is the strength of the U.S. Secret Service.